crazy dystopian stuff happening.
Cisgender this, cisgender that. Meanwhile,
Democrats went too far with this.
hello everybody. Welcome to another week of Beyond Parody. My name is Dan Dillon. I'm your host, and I'm joined by my typical panelist, Robin.
Hi, you guys.
And Mr. B, our tech guru.
Hello, family.
And we are joined by a special guest, Lydia Moynihan of the New York Post, a New York Post columnist.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to join the B family.
We
Our
are
family.
We're super excited to have you. We had a little interesting
Kerfuffle?
way of meeting. Yeah, I don't know if it's a kerfuffle or not, but we had something where I shared a meme on our Twitter account. And, you know, memes are just kind of like the way that I see them. They're just kind of shared property of the internet almost.
Mm-hmm.
And like we take memes, we share them. Elon takes ours and doesn't give us credit, which really sucks because then they get like 100 million views. But he did share this one, right? Did he retweet this one? I don't remember if it was Elon.
I know he liked it.
He liked it, yeah. So anyway, it turns out we shared this meme that was very good, very funny, and we'll bring it up on the screen here in a second. And it turns out it was Lydia's.
Oh.
And so it went somewhat viral. I'd say somewhat viral, right? I think.
Yeah, I thought. Well, basically, what happened is I'm young enough that I should be a digital native, and yet I'm actually kind of a digital immigrant. So this is all sort of new for me, frankly. Like I've only recently really tried to like embrace the memes, the tweeting, all of this.
Right.
And what happened is I enjoy this now. I enjoy trying to create memes. There's like a template, right? Whatever. So I uploaded it. And my more sort of savvy internet mentors then like the day after started messaging me all of these accounts that were posting it. And they're like, you need to get credit for this. Like, why didn't you watermark it? And I'm like, how do I watermark it? Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
And they're like, you need to like demand that they credit you. So I'm like, okay. Like, my sister-in-law is like, Don Jr. posted this and whatever.
No way.
So I'm like, okay. So then I like commented on a few things. I'm like, hi, can you give me credit? And then now like all these people are like, this bitch, like, you know, she thinks that she deserves all this and whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I did message you. And then when you responded, you made the point that like, it is kind of the internet's public property, which I do make sense. And now I have looked at all of these memes through the lens of like, somebody created this and I appreciate their contribution to society.
Oh, you
Right.
guys had your first fight. That's cute.
Well, she said here, so here's our post. So it says, don't fall victim to fake news. And it's her meme, which is great. And it reads, ICE detained a 5-year-old. Be honest. ICE is targeting children. Be honest. ICE looked after a child when his father abandoned him. Thank you.
So awful.
And it's
So good.
it's good satire. Like it's good, you know, it's a good meme. And so we shared it. And then you commented, I made this meme. Please credit me.
Good for you.
And here you are. You're on the show.
So here I am apologizing for sharing your meme without credit.
I demand to be taken seriously. I demand credit. No, can I just say, and I mean, I don't know why this one hit me more than anything else, because it's funny. I do CNN, I do a lot of news shows, and JD Vance encapsulated it well, where he's like, I saw this headline, and then I looked into the story, and I'm like, no, this is something completely different. And this is what kills me is, living in New York, a majority of my friends are liberal, and so I feel like I have kind of a good vantage point because I know everything that they're consuming and posting about, and then I also am conservative, so I know everything that I'm seeing. And there's just this completely separate silo of information. And again, actually the first place I saw that picture of the darling little boy, Liam Ramos, who has the cute hat and the backpack and he looks very sad. And I the first time I saw it was on one of my friend's stories. And then I'm like, everyone was posting it. And I'm like, this is terrible. Like ICE is arresting a 5, and then you look up the story and inevitably it's like, no, that actually literally did not happen. And what happened is this happens a lot actually, is I get really angry and then I comment on like New York Magazine's post or like DM someone and then I like delete it. I'm like, this is like, people do not have ears to hear. They do not.
Well, and then you have to follow up on, they'll reply. I've done this before and I think, I don't care anymore. I cared in the moment, but now I don't care anymore. And I don't want to have an argument with you. So it's the same way. Like, I just don't.
But I feel like memes are actually the best way to communicate that because people get it. But it's I'm sure there are obviously instances where DHS has wrongfully detained people and done horrible things. But so far, every instance, when you get additional context, you're like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Almost every single time. If it's being reported by mainstream news, and I don't want to say anything about New York Post, we actually partnered with New York Post. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Our brothers in arms.
Yeah. So, every mainstream news outlet to a certain extent, no matter who it is, CNN, Fox News, New York Post, I always take everything, like after COVID, I almost believe nothing immediately when I read it on the internet, almost no matter what the source, because you have your pundits on X that are going to have their right-wing, far-right take, and okay, it's probably a little bit left of that, right? And then you have all the mainstream news, and you're like, okay, the reality is probably a little bit right of that. But, everything I have to take with a grain of salt. I knew when this first happened, and I knew when the Alex Preddy thing happened, that okay, there's going to be more to the story than just an innocent guy getting shot. I knew that there was going to be more to it, and it's still not being reported that way in almost any mainstream news outlet. But
what else is new? We
have a clip here just to share, because I respect you a lot for this. I honestly don't know how I would do in this type of situation, because I wouldn't be able to keep my cool. You're kind of filling the shoes of Scott Jennings in this clip, but
way to go into the lion's den, seriously.
The lion's den of CNN. And so we'll share this clip of you talking about ICE.
What's frustrating in this is this sort of selective outrage. Everyone was obsessed with this photo. Not all the facts were out there. The facts are still in dispute. I think we can agree on that. Widely reported the father did run away. But why are we only focused on that when for 4 years, there were almost 500,000 children who came across the border completely abandoned, trafficked? Kamala Harris is posting about this little 5-year-old boy, but for 4 years, she was completely quiet as the Biden administration saw hundreds of thousands of children trafficked here without their parents. Why are we only outraged about this one story?
Amazing.
It's a great question. It's very selective. I mean, under Obama, it was even more pronounced, the type of stuff that they were doing. They were actually enforcing immigration laws, right? Oh my gosh, what a horrible thing.
They called him the deporter in chief. That was a derogatory nickname that other Democrats gave him because he was deporting so many people. And that was his first term. And then his second term, they started cranking the wheels of this, hey, actually, and you see where the plan starts to flip. And it's crazy how we're not talking about that.
But all of the clips that I've seen recently of Obama, circa 2010, 2012, where he's making the case, he's like, there is a moral argument for deportations. Not only is it unfair to people who are trying to do the right thing, but if you're not deporting people, it's a green light to cartels and traffickers that they should continue to bring in more people. And I think what kills me is so many people, they're so emotional. They see one photo and there's no recognition of what happens after that. I think Thomas Sowell framed it as stage one thinking. And it's sad photo, ergo, change public policy, don't enforce the law. And it's that's a really easy thing when you're accepting your Oscar to say, F ICE, whatever. But if you actually think about that, that's much more harmful to children. If we just decided no more deportations, immediately you would see cartels and drug gangs starting to traffic and abuse children because they know they could get away with it. It happened before, it will happen again. And those photos just don't go viral of the little children at the border who are...
Dan, I dropped a link into Slack. I have a very tiny little Twitter account because I can never decide if I actually want to put my politics online or I don't want to offend my liberal... Not that any of my liberal lady friends would probably even be on Twitter, but I had a post...
It's a safe space because of that.
No, exactly. I can't post it on Instagram. I can't post it on Instagram. I just keep my big mouth shut. But I posted a picture this week on my Twitter feed, which I think I have 250 followers or something, but it kind of blew up. I wasn't expecting it. I said, don't look now, but I said I didn't look this up at all, but I'm pretty sure this is a real photo of an ICE agent kidnapping a 12-year-old boy. Yeah. And it's a picture of Terminator with John Connor. And it got reshared a whole bunch. I woke up, I was like, but then I told my husband, I'm going to delete this. I don't want anybody to see it, but it had breached containment at that point because it's just ridiculous. Don't Google it and just assume whatever you're looking at is real.
100%. So, the ICE situation is kind of what's dominating the news this week, which, I do want to talk about it because we have to talk about Minnesota. We have to talk about what's going on there. It's part of the national conversation this week.
I know. What a horrible place.
Well, I apologize to the 1/50th of the country that lives in Minnesota, But I'm like, why do people live in Minnesota? You could move somewhere else. I don't know.
Harrison Keeler. I don't know if anyone still talks about him.
Yeah.
Growing up, I remember we would listen to that, and he talked about Lake Wobegon, where the children above average, the men are good looking, the women are strong. And now I'm like, what? Was there some sort of like nuclear reaction that like totally destroyed everyone in the state?
They
I don't
went
know.
blue in like 2005, 2006. They just flipped, and you see now what happens. It's crazy.
And you got them defending these people. So the left decided that Alex Preddy was going to be the next George Floyd type of a thing, right? And so the crazy thing about it is, well, let's just look at the lengths they go to in order to try and make this their vision of him reality. They're actually using AI. I don't know how many of you guys saw this or not, but they're actually using AI to increase or improve his physical appearance.
MSNBC
shared this photo. This isn't the MSNBC one, but the MSNBC shared this photo where the original is on the left. That's him. He's a normal guy, whatever, But they edited it. They compacted his head a little bit. They gave him a nice little...
They're making him look less Jewish, too.
Right.
Yeah, that is an attempt. So, I mean...
Crazy.
It's all playing into this narrative that this guy's somehow a hero. There's another photo going around right now that shows him rehabbing veterans in a veterans, I don't know, VA or something like that. But it turns out that it's an AI generated image. It's got a fake.
And I saw so many people reshare that. So many of my friends on Instagram.
I see you nurses are not doing rehab. Yeah.
And people are just so gullible, and people believe the first thing that they see, right? Like they don't read the retraction. They don't read the update. They don't read the community note 3 days later that finally makes it onto the post on X that it's a fake photo. The same thing happened with the photo of him holding the clip or the magazine or whatever, and then one of the guys didn't even have a head, and it was like obviously an AI photo, and everybody's sharing it like it's real. It does the damage. It does. Both sides actually latched onto that photo, but like people just don't take the time to really think about what they're sharing or what they're thinking anymore.
I do appreciate X actually notifies you when there is a community note, and I feel like all of the systems we have, like New York Times isn't going to send like a correction email, be like, by the way, we got something wrong. But at least on X, like you do get that kind of follow up. But I think it was Rush Limbaugh who coined the term of the drive-by media, and it kind of feels like this is intentional. That they just want this insane accusation, this insane photo, this insane headline, and then they quickly change focus to something else. So it's like, look at this photo of Leah Murray, so sad. And then as the facts start to come out the next day or two, oh, no, completely different. Look over here.
Well, it's great.
Can't keep up.
It's great for their demographics that responds very emotionally to stories. Like rather than really stopping to think about it, they're just going to respond with their knee-jerk reaction to it, which is always from us, I would say an overly emotional state. Now, like talking about choosing bad heroes. So you sent me this link actually before you came on of Ana Navarro talking about how. Well, let's just watch this clip. What she says about Alex Preddy, who, by the way, showed up to this protest armed. And you can't be too surprised. I mean, it's sad what happened, right? Everybody agrees it's sad what happened, but you can't be too surprised when you get into a dispute with ICE agents and you're armed that something bad's going to happen. But here's what she has to say about Alex.
They chose to, they killed the wrong guy, right? Because this is like the perfect guy. Alex Preddy is the guy you would want your daughter, the guy you would want your son to grow up to be, a decent human being who was serving humanity, serving sick veterans, who is, there is nothing that has been said about that man that isn't wonderful. And so.
Okay, so now let me just transition real quick to the next clip, which is 11 days prior. This is Alex. This is who you want your daughter to be dating, okay? This is unbelievable, guys. I can't even. This is him and he's armed, by the way. You can see his gun in a couple frames of this.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him.
Did he get arrested for that?
Footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy.
You have to be so strong to like kick a tail.
I'm impressed.
Like I've never seen that in my life.
Rage-filled.
Yeah. And I think, Dan, to your point, a lot of things can be true. First off, as a very ardent Second Amendment supporter, you are legally allowed to bring a weapon to a protest, bring a gun. You are allowed. And I think Kash Patel made some pretty dumb statements about that. If you're going to a protest, and especially if you have a concealed carry permit, where he really gets into trouble, and I've talked to a lot of gun experts about this, is in his confrontation with the police. Once you start resisting arrest and you have a weapon on your person, you are elevating the temperature of that moment. And that is, in that moment, is where things really start
Robin,
to break down.
and again, yes, are you legally allowed to do this? Yeah, but should you? I mean, like, should you do that? Like,
sure, it's your right. It's your right to carry. But if you know things are going to get violent, you have to, as a concealed carry holder, you're taught to really assess when and where you take your.
Well,
your
my point is, like, should you even be there, right? Like, should you be going to this event? Should you be doing this? Why are you a part of the agitation or not? Which he was, right?
Right.
Like, he's trying to cause. I mean, and you basically have the governor of the state, the lieutenant governor of the state, basically telling people to do this, to get up in people's faces and to make them try to enforce the law on you, because that's what's going to make good viral clips. So I actually hold Tim Walz, again, he's responsible for a lot of things. I hold him responsible ultimately for what happened to this guy. And the shooting with the woman Good in the car as well, because they're telling their followers to go out and be this way and to cause this agitation.
I think they, at some level, like, they had to know that this was going to happen. I think, it's been interesting to see on the right. I haven't seen anyone prominent like say anything other than this is a tragedy. And of course, the death of Renee Good and Alex Peretti is a tragedy. But we've also at the same time seen this narrative in the media and the left is, this could have happened to anyone. And I've heard so many people say that, like, this could have been me. I could have been killed by the police. Like, no, that could not have been anyone. Like, clearly, like, and so it totally debunks this idea that, he was just a nice guy helping an old lady cross the street. It totally debunks this idea that, somebody just dropping their kids off at school is going to get gunned down by ICE. It's like, he didn't deserve to die, but the context is that this could not have happened to anyone. This was only going to happen to a very specific person engaging in a very specific activity of trying to impede and assault law enforcement.
Right. Yeah, and putting yourself in that situation. And again, when you are carrying and you confront the cops, you are elevating that conflict to a very different level in any circumstance.
It's interesting, too, because, literally just earlier this month, on January 6th, it was the 5th anniversary of the riots on Capitol Hill. And, I was talking on one of the panels about Ashley Babbitt, and she, of course, was the one who was killed that day. And again, another tragic death, but you never heard a Democrat say anything other than law enforcement was doing their job. It was ultimately on her that she was there and put herself in harm's way. And I would say the same thing, like the exact same thing that happened to Ashley Babbitt happened to Alex Peretti.
Right. Although Ashley wasn't armed, right? When she came in. No, she wasn't
armed. And I would say that the left media was not as kind to her as the right media has been. I mean, people are picking on Alex Peretti. They are. Like, people on the right are again, it's a tragedy regardless, but at the same time, it's not an innocent tragedy. Like, you see, even just 11 days prior, you see what this guy's motivations were. I mean, I would never in my life do what he did to a law enforcement vehicle. Like, I would just never do it. It doesn't matter whether or not I'm mad at them or upset with what they're doing or getting paid to be an agitator or anything like that. I'm not going to put myself in that type of a situation. He could have gotten himself shot 11 days ago. Right. And who knows what he did in those next 11 days. He probably was doing that every single day.
Right. Well, my son just got his driver's license, my oldest son, and we have had conversations like, hey, if you get pulled over, here's the protocol. Like, you keep your hands on the wheel. These are things you teach kids from a young age so that they know there are certain things you do and do not do around police officers. Don't reach for something quickly. Communicate, with the officer. Tell them that, can I reach for my this? Like, we gave him the whole talk about what you do when you get pulled over and how you interact, and you're respectful. I tell my kids,
but in this situation, he was purposefully not doing those things.
Right.
So to a certain extent, we're almost giving him too much credit, even saying it's a tragedy like that. Like, because it's not an innocent tragedy. It's a tragedy that he fell victim to the mind virus that's going on in this country and put himself in that situation. That's the tragedy. But he did put himself in that situation. He is not innocent in any way.
Right.
Any way for what happened. Like showing up there, he didn't just go there to just observe, right? They call them just observers, right? He wasn't legally observing anything. He was there to agitate, as is very clear from his social media, very clear from his previous actions. So,
well, my kids will tell you that I will never die in a submarine because I am never going in a submarine, because I have a real fear of enclosed spaces and water. So I've told my kids, I can guarantee with 100% certainty that I am not going to die in a submarine. And it's the same. I can guarantee with 100% certainty that I will probably makes it uncertain, but I will never die in a police altercation, because I just know not to, if I'm carrying, concealed carrying a weapon, a gun, and go to a protest, you are just elevating, you're notching up the threat. It's crazy.
I also think there's been sort of, since George Floyd, there's been this permission structure to antagonize cops in a way that I wasn't raised with. I think we've heard literally, and obviously hearing this from our mayor in New York City, we've heard for 6 years the demonization of law enforcement. They're racist. They hate, black
They're one-dimensional.
There's been these crazy accusations. And so I think rather than what it used to be a few years ago, where people respected cops and they were like, this guy's powerful, he has guns, but also like he's doing a job that's ultimately good for society. I think people think that antagonizing cops is inherently a good thing because cops are inherently bad.
Yeah. And it makes you a hero.
Yeah, they're being the virtuous dissenters. That's what they think that they are. And obviously,
legal observers.
And that's the thing is, when they're in power, right? Like they love to wield the authority of the government when they're in power, right? You see that with COVID. Honestly, you saw it even with the lawlessness of the Biden administration. They had the power to let those people into the country, and they did. They love wielding the power, and they hate it whenever it's turned against their cause. They're not consistent, and that's the thing that I feel very comfortable with. I feel consistent in the way that I feel about law enforcement, which is that in general, I think that people who are in law enforcement are doing a very, very important job, a very dangerous job, and are honestly trying to do it. That doesn't mean that it's always the case, but that's the way that I've always approached them. And also, whether I like it or not, they do have the authority to do what they're doing.
Right. And if you think they're wrong, you can always sue later. You can always sue later when you're alive.
Right. Exactly. You can always de-escalate a situation with the cops by doing exactly what they tell you to do.
Right. And then if they're wrong, which they can be wrong, there are many instances of cops overstepping their authority. Absolutely. I totally agree that happens. But you can always take it to court and you're alive at court when you go.
So we got, I don't want to focus only on this Minnesota and ICE thing, but there's one clip that we didn't play last week because it happened like right after our show last week. And I need to show it because it's probably one of my favorite moments in internet history. Now it has even more meaning because this woman actually ended up getting arrested. But this lady, the bananas and rice lady. This is like... This is
rat diet.
This is the greatest.
That's funny.
Bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast.
Like I get it. Like I've been there.
Yeah. You got to do it when you do it.
This is like the Office level humor. Like we can't do better than this. This is beyond parody. You cannot at the Babylon Bee come up with something funnier than this. Which, by the way, I don't even know why is the bandage on her head. I don't know. But anyway, let's just listen to this and react.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. People don't really see people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali.
It's not like bananas and rice, but guys, it is exactly like bananas and rice.
Props to you, sister. I've been put on the spot and said dumb things before too, but that one blew up really big.
It's almost like somebody was like, okay, I'm going to pay you $1,000 if you can use the word banana and rice 3 times in the span of 30.
Everyone has to say banana and rice 3 times between now and the end of the podcast.
Oh, I'm sure we'll fit it in.
Do we also get $1,000? No.
Yeah, we also get 1,000.
Have you guys seen? I hope this isn't too niche. Have you seen Nathan For You?
Yes, it's my favorite show, and we just showed it to my kid. We love that show.
It's genius.
It is so genius.
For folks who don't know, it's this guy who pretends to be this business consultant, and all of his ideas are the worst ideas ever.
They're the worst, but they're so funny.
And there's one episode where he decides that he should interview for a job and have a 4-year-old in his ear telling him what to say. And he does it with like a completely serious face, right? And the gal's like asking him like questions like, what is your experience as a lawyer? And the little boy is like, next questions. He's like, next question. It literally, I feel like that was a Nathan For You episode, and some child was in her ear and she just had to say what the child was saying. And it's bananas and rice. Like it's literally
bananas and rice. And you could see the wheels kind of like.
Can we play a clip from Comedy Central? How long of a clip could we play from Comedy Central? Because it's hilarious. It's a 2-minute clip. I could bring it up, but I don't know. Is that a hit on us on YouTube?
I think it would. I think we'd get dinged.
But I'll put a link in the description to this particular video. It's one of the best things. So he's interviewing to become a lawyer, right? And the kid, he just has the kid answer the questions. It's so funny.
Right. I like skateboard. I mean, just literally like
just random. Yeah.
Stuff.
I love that.
We watched the one where he ties the what's the politically correct word for larger people, balloons to this large man on a horse so he can ride a horse and be lighter weight. We showed it to my kids and I thought this might not be great for my kids.
No, it's great. It's real humor.
Oh, it's so great.
It's great. I mean, like, he's a satirist, right? And so he got away with the whole fake Starbucks thing where he created a Starbucks and just called it Dumb Starbucks because it's a parody of Starbucks. And he actually was able to operate this for a little while, and he had coffee. He was selling coffee. It was very, very popular. I think he ended up winning an Emmy for that episode too.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
He's so great.
Speaking of people who are great, this week, one of the greatest physical achievements I've ever seen, second greatest physical achievement I've ever seen was Alex Honnold climbing the Taipei 101 tower. Mm-hmm. The greatest thing I've ever seen an athlete do was also Alex Honnold when he climbed El Capitan, because I mean, El Capitan is, I think it's 3,300 or 3,400 feet tall, and it's like more than vertical, and it's way scarier than this building. But this was still like live on television. So let's watch a little clip of this. This is crazy.
What do you do if you have to sneeze?
You just die.
You just die. That's it. Oh, well, I mean, honestly, like a cramp. If you cramp at the wrong time, you're dead. That's it.
Could he have called for help if he needed help?
Yeah, there were a lot of places on this particular, and this is why this climb's not as impressive to me as El Capitan, because once you get past a certain point on El Cap, you can't get rescued really in normal ways. But on this building, there are little places he could stop and rest. There are little places he could have gotten rescued. Super easy. Look at this. Super easy. Look at this.
Here's another way Robin will never die, because she will not put herself in that situation.
I have a lot to say about this because I am a climber. I do a lot of rock climbing, and I made a comment on our Not the Bee Instagram post, and people raked me over the coals. But I don't think this is great.
Oh, you can see the wind, just the way his shirt is flapping.
What he's doing. I
can't even watch that.
What he's doing right now would be the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Yeah. And this is the end. This is the end of it.
Yeah, even just, how did he get off?
He just climbed down that top part. He did take the elevator down from some point. But
so I commented on our Not the Bee Instagram. I said, he's a spectacle at this point, really irresponsible climbing, sort of ruining the sport for the ones who do it well and safely. And people got really upset. Somebody said, you can't even spell his name right. You're clearly not a part of the climbing community. Stop talking and educate yourself.
The climbing community?
Apparently, I'm not part of the climbing community because I can't spell Alex.
That was a spicy take, Robin. That was a very spicy take.
Well, it is. We are a climbing family, and Alex Honnold is kind of notorious. People don't, after El Cap, he doesn't have a lot of respect with a lot of hardcore climbers, because it's like someone who,
I don't know about that.
I think maybe hardcore.
But he's not doing
we're
it.
gonna have to agree to disagree on this one, Robin. I think that he's got the ultimate like hero of everybody.
Really, especially like this thing, it's very spectacle driven, and it doesn't show. Like, if you want a good documentary about good climbing, watch the Dawn Wall with Tommy Caldwell, where he climbs the Dawn Wall in El Cap, but he uses.
It sounds like jealousy to me. That's what it sounds like.
That's exactly what people said. They said, I'm jealous of his. He's amazing. Alex Honnold is probably the most talented climber, hands down, of all time.
Okay.
But
I just have to say, not that it's all about the money, but he revealed, because I thought, surely he has this insane deal with Netflix. They're live streaming it. He's pretty notable at this point. Like, he's risking his life to die. Surely, like, he's going to be making bank from this. And evidently, he only got 6 figures.
Really?
Which
it was like $500,000.
Is not...
From Netflix?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that
They give out more than that for stupid game show things. Yeah.
I know. People are making, like, per football game, they're making, like, 10 million. I don't know. They're making a lot of money. Like, that surprised me. That, like, even if you literally accomplish the most insane feat, almost die, I would not do that for...
Was it worth it? I don't know.
But he didn't do it for the money, though. That's the whole thing with Alex, too. That another reason why I can't... There's very few people that can come along that nobody dislikes. Like, apparently, except for Robin's friends, nobody dislikes Alex Honnold. Like, it's like he doesn't get political. He just kind of goes and lives his life. He seems like a peaceful guy that does stuff better than anybody else can do anything. And it's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
As a spectacle, it's very impressive. But as like as climbing technique, it's very reckless what he's doing. And people have died trying to do
I'm not arguing it's not reckless. Like, it's obviously reckless.
Must be a buzzkill.
My Aura Ring is going to, like, show me that I'm stressed, literally just from watching that clip. Like,
I get really nervous when he just stands up to the edge and, like, goes like this over the edge. Like, I'm like, now that's where he's going to actually fall or something, like a big gust of wind.
It's a different kind of brain. Like, I have done a lot of climbing, and I still have a fear of heights. Like, I've been 70, 80, 90 feet up, and my hands get sweaty, and you just have to power through. I can't imagine being however many feet up that is.
I feel like that is actually a self-preservation instinct. I don't think that that's something you should just, like, dismiss.
Right.
Like, that you should listen to that.
Right. Well, yeah, it's a disregard for life, really. It's a recklessness for life. But I'll stop being the school marm on this one.
All right, now this is Lydia's wheelhouse because she's in New York City and she has to deal with this on a day-to-day basis.
So bad.
Let's listen to Mayor Mamdani talk about the fiscal crisis that they're in New York City now.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis. It will require us
free buses
to pursue every single avenue. That means looking inward into saving.
Free daycare for all illegal immigrants.
And efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. And it means
free healthcare for all illegal immigrants.
Recalibrating the relationship with the state. We are
recalibrating relationship. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So he's focused on all these socialist policies that cost tons of money. I mean, like making all public transit free, allowing these stupid.
Also, people don't pay on the bus anyway. It's, like, kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah, no. Like,
only the people that have the means to pay.
Yeah, half the people who get on pay, half don't. So, yeah.
Are you a Mamdani fan, Lydia? Are you just a big...
Love the guy. I love his genuine smile. He just has the most genuine, warm smile. No, here, and I'm not sure if I'm just getting old and whiny or if this was always the case and I just didn't notice. But, you pay for the privilege of living here to the tune of, like, 50% of your income.
Jeez.
And I'm literally walking to work in Midtown. There is slush all over the sidewalks. Nothing is maintained. And I'm like, I guess he just thinks the warmth of collectivism is going to melt everything. But I'm like, literally, why don't you start at the basics? Like, why don't you start literally? And I've almost slipped so many times. I know people who have slipped. Like, let's just start with a bare minimum and, like, try and get that under control. And then maybe once you, like, actually get snow off the sidewalk so people can walk around your city, we can talk about, like, advancing from that. But I don't know in what universe why somebody would be like, oh, this guy can't even keep the streets, like, not even clean. Like, he can't even keep people from not slipping on the streets. Let's make sure that he's also the guy who dramatically expands government over. Like, I don't understand how people who
because
are
he's
always
promised
at the DMV
so
are like, more of this. This management, we want more of this.
Do you think that just trying to be fair, like, do you think that the mayor really has that much influence? Your answer can be yes. I just don't know. You know, like, I see the mayor more as a figurehead. I think that when Giuliani was the mayor after 9/11, it helped revitalize the city in that time, right? Like, I think that it was very important, and he was bringing crime down at the same time as, like, rebuilding, right? Like, I think that his presence helped. But as far as actually, like, affecting the slush on the sidewalks and stuff like that, do you think that he's directly responsible for all this stuff?
I mean, the buck stops with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he controls the budget. He controls the city council for the most part. At least this is how it works in Salt Lake. And I would assume it works like this everywhere else. I think he has a lot of control over the ins and outs of the city. I think he has a lot of oversight from the state government.
He acts like he does. He certainly, he had a little special jacket made for himself.
So your take is that he has a big influence. And, my favorite thing was when he was going on Twitter and talking about how he was being briefed on Venezuela. And that's ridiculous. He's talking about getting briefings. And literally everybody knows what his briefings are. It's just scrolling down the feed of X, right?
Yeah. He has the same access as any of us do. And The View.
Right.
But it annoys me, and I feel like I am seeing this more and more, because we are such a national country. People who are in local politics oftentimes are just auditioning for a larger role. Like, we saw this with Buttigieg. Like, they know they have to do their time and do some, like, unpleasant, kind of unsexy political work, but it's all with an eye to get to the next level. Obviously, Donnie can't be president. He wasn't born here, but he clearly wants to continue to shape the debate and have a say in these issues. And so he's, like, doing all these interviews on late night shows, and he's talking about ICE and this and, like, things that literally have nothing to do with the lives of New Yorkers. And then walking down the street and, like, this sucks, So it's like totally misplaced incentives, where the reason he got elected is because he's really good at doing these cute little videos, and he's continuing to do those videos.
Good social media people for sure.
Not actually, do the unexciting.
AOC.
What's the highest rank
work.
that you can become in the U.S. government without being a natural citizen? I wonder. I don't know that off the top of my head.
I think, because you can be a senator or a congressperson.
I just looked up. You cannot be a vice president. I thought maybe you could be, and just the succession just skips you. But
that makes sense.
But you can't.
That
It has the
good
same
movie plot.
restrictions.
That would be a good movie plot.
Isn't there a movie about the presidents and, like, some sort? I don't remember.
Dave?
I don't remember what
I don't remember
what it was.
I love Dave.
Movie where the president gets sick and then they replace him with a body double, and it's a comedy. It's so great.
There's also Veep, which is great.
Prescient.
Veep is great. What?
Felt like rather prescient. It kind of felt like,
Yeah, right.
What happened to Joe Biden?
Well, Veep was literally Veep was, like, predictive, like, even more so than the Babylon Bee. Veep was exactly Kamala Harris, and it almost. I was really surprised. Just not to go off on a tangent, I was really surprised that we got through 4 years of Joe Biden without him stepping down specifically to allow Kamala to become the first female president. I thought that they were going to do that. Now, speaking of women,
he did not want to leave. The only way he was leaving was in a body bag.
Yeah, he was grabbing onto that ledge.
Speaking of women in charge, I am surrounded by women today, so I feel like we can have a fair. Well,
I'm wearing a wig. It's okay.
I'm surrounded by ladies today, so I want to know how you guys feel about this. How do you guys feel about female pilots? Like, how do you feel about getting into a plane and seeing a female pilot? Because there's been a study that was been done by a former White House lawyer that shows that female and minority pilots have caused 66% of pilot error crashes since 2000, despite being less than 10% of the workforce.
I had a lot of thoughts about this.
Wow.
But Lydia, you go first.
Lydia, you go. Let's hear what you think.
So I think the tragedy of DEI is it makes you question the competence of people. I think if we didn't have DEI, I would just assume, okay, this person got to where they are because of merit. But now because of DEI saying, oh, we need to have quotas, we need to have, this percentage of pilots be this race or this color, then you're like, okay, well, this person might have literally just been a diversity hire. And it makes you question everyone you interact with and wonder whether they're there based on sheer competence or based on them meeting a quota. And so I think that's kind of poisoned things. I think like a few years ago, I wouldn't have cared, but now we know that in some cases they're sacrificing competency for virtue signaling. And as a result of that, I would have questions.
Right. And it almost reverses things from what the intention is, right? Like now that DEI has become such a big hot button topic, when I see a white male pilot, I actually feel more confidence in them than I did before because it means that he became a pilot in spite of the airline trying as hard as possible to replace him, right? Like in spite of all of that effort, he still became a pilot. He must be even better than I thought that he was going to be, right? And it does the opposite for the minority or the female pilots, unfortunately, because I firmly believe it. And I don't have my pilot's license yet, but I am actually training to become a pilot. And I think I have a little bit of insight into this. I firmly believe that women can be good pilots and there are very good female pilots. And it just sucks so bad that many of them are promoted in ways that they shouldn't be promoted to positions that they shouldn't be in before they should be there and end up in crashes because they have too much responsibility without enough experience. Right. And also I do think that there are some differences between the genders.
Mental reflex for sure. That's why I saw a big back and forth this week about chess and why there are gendered chess categories because we do not fully even if you're not a biologist or even a gene specialist, you don't understand how molecular the XX and the XY chromosomes break down. Like there are fundamental differences. It's crazy. Like even in chess, how the male brain works and the female brain works and logic and strategy and stuff. But to Dan's point, I grew up in a flying family. My dad was a commercial airline pilot for 30 years. I have siblings. I grew up in little tiny 4-seater planes going up and down, and I got to do the double yoke. And I really wanted to get my pilot's license, but I totally agree with Lydia that the DEI bubble that we've all been living in for a while has just cast a real pall on the confidence I have in people when I get on a plane. 20 years ago, no. If I got on a plane and there was a female pilot, I wouldn't have thought anything about it. My dad flew with some really, really amazing women throughout his career. But they were kind of women that had to be a little better than the men, right? At that time to get promoted. And now the men have to be a little better than the women to get promoted. And we just need merit-based qualifications for every job, period.
Is Kamala Harris a pilot?
Sure, if she wants to be. You go, girl.
She could be. She probably could be if she wanted to be. I mean, and that's the thing that I saw. And being in training with other students, I do see, and I don't think it's just me like saying this. Like I think it's actually happening. Female pilots, their check rides go a lot easier. They do. Like the male training pilots don't really want to ding them for two reasons. Number one, like the airlines really want more women to be in those positions. And so there's a lot of motivation for pilot training schools to get women out there. And whether it's spoken or not, there's a subliminal, like, I'm not going to quite question her. Like if you're a guy and you're taking a check ride, a lot of times it depends on who your instructor is at the time, but a lot of times they're really hard on you. Like they're going to press you to see exactly. And you need to be like, you almost should probably fail one of those things before you pass it, right? Like you need to be pressed really hard. And then other people get in there depending upon the demographics. And it's like, oh, that was easy. You know, like it wasn't even a high stress situation. Yeah, you're doing so good. Like, and I've seen videos of people walking certain demographics through check rides, and it's like they're literally like planting the answer in their question to them and things like that. Like, you know, like stuff that you wouldn't do.
Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' wife, is a pilot.
Oh, she's an astronaut. So is
but she actually is a helicopter as well.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
That whole thing was ridiculous. I mean, I would go up in space. I don't know if I would say I was a female astronaut because I'm not. I have an understanding of physics on the same level as my.
You wouldn't go in a submarine, but you're going to go up into space. I don't believe you.
Yeah, Robin.
I fear water big time.
Robin, you wouldn't believe my 30-second question to you today that we're going to get to, but we'll get to it in just a minute. First, we have to watch some blue-haired breakdowns. It's related to space, actually, but let's watch some blue-haired breakdowns. We're going to read a couple headlines, then we're going to wrap it up with some personal questions, all right? So this is another CNN contributor having a little bit of a breakdown.
Oh, man. I'm curious if Lydia's seen this.
I'm sure she has. She has to have. I think.
Lady. There's some very strong language in this clip. I want to let people know who are watching live. I always say this. We edit it for our release on YouTube, so you won't hear it. But if you're in the chat, this lady...
Taking out the good part?
Yeah.
The United States Senate is voting on ICE's funding next week. And this is a group that does not deserve to be funded. Any senator who votes to continue to pay for this mob of unhinged murderers is out of their mind, because this cannot be retrained. This has to be stopped. So if you are a U.S. senator right now, do not write a tweet. Do not write a tweet. Write a bill. Write a bill that abolishes this heinous department.
That is some
husband.
That is some anger.
Spicy.
I agree that they should write a bill, but it isn't the bill that she wants. It's a bill to require
Lee McGowan, known as Politics Girl, a political commentator who appears on CNN and hosts a podcast. According to
Why do they all go crazy like that? Lydia, are you going to go crazy like that if you are a correspondent long enough?
Gotta have the eyes.
The eyes. Somebody noted that it appeared her lips were stained with wine.
We've all been there.
That's
Kamala
a good
Harris.
thing,
It's the Kamala Harris 11 a.m. wine
Yeah,
lips.
I feel like people are like, I mean, I don't know where you guys fall on this, but like, I feel like people are really hating on alcohol these days.
I feel you.
And
alcohol sales are down apparently, and I'm not
they're
sure why.
down
They
dramatically.
should be going up.
Particularly among millennial and Gen Z folks. And I'm like, I actually feel like if people went home and had a glass of wine,
do a lot better.
So that like maybe they wouldn't be out like impeding law enforcement. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like it's like why are we hating on alcohol? Like it's like I look for maybe I'm an alcoholic, but I'm like I look forward to knowing I'm like I'm gonna have a glass of wine tonight. Like I'm excited for that, you know?
I have 5 kids. I try to be very like moderate with my alcohol consumption for sure, because it can get out of hand, especially when you're home with kids all day and you're like, I only have one control mechanism. I may as well have a glass of wine at 11 a.m. because I'm not driving anywhere today. But which I don't do. I don't do that. But like Friday night, when I know I'm not going out and I know I'm not going to get dressed up, I can at least have a glass of white wine because I can't drink red wine anymore. But
really?
Yeah, I'm too old. But
are you drinking?
Too old for red wine?
Biodynamic red wine?
I don't think so. What is biodynamic? They take out the tannins or something? All right, Steve, we're going to talk about wine for a minute.
Sorry. Well, yeah,
I love red wine.
So this is actually the one wine club that I am a member of.
I love this.
The Topless Creek family. And basically, if you drink European wine, there's like nothing, they don't have like the Roundup, all of the chemicals in the soil. And a lot of times, and they also can't add in all of these additives. Because in America, you can add sugar. Like you can literally throw in everything in the kitchen sink.
Like American-made wine.
American-made wine. Yeah. So right. I like drinking like Italian wine or whatever because it's just so much cleaner. But biodynamic wineries in the U.S. are basically forcing themselves to adhere to like higher rules where they can't add in all of these things to make it taste a certain way.
Is it labeled on the bottle? Like it'll say?
You have to, I will send you a bottle, but you have to like find a place that you trust. And there can still sometimes be chemicals in the soil because Roundup can stay in soil for 100 years. But in general, it's a clean soil and they don't add in all of these crazy chemicals or whatever. And that's why when you drink cheap wine, it's not that it's like a bad grape or whatever. It's literally they just add stuff in to make it taste good. And that's what makes me sick. In a quick nutshell, because this is not the direction, I grew up Mormon.
And then I started drinking at age 30. I'm 42 now. So I've only been drinking for 12 years. And so I am so, even still, naive as all get out on anything, because I didn't go through the college years of like drinking a lot and drinking everything. So I just found a brand of white wine like 6 years ago, and that's just all I drink. And I have never really, I like a gin and tonic at the bar, and I like a glass of white wine. I don't know anything else. I am very naive when it comes to alcohol.
They're not drinking biodynamic wine in college, so you didn't really miss it.
True.
Boone's Farm.
Okay, we're done, Dan. We're done. I love this though.
Chapter closed.
All right, ladies. All right, we got to move on. Speaking of ladies, we got one more. We got one more blue hair breakdown to watch today, and this comes from Libs of TikTok. She found this one. This is gold. She has a real knack for finding these people. But I at this point in time, like I kind of feel like some of this stuff is just performative.
Oh, I didn't share this because this one is going to be hard to edit. This
one's crazy.
This one was for me because I want to edit it.
I don't know if we can understand it when we clean it up.
There you go.
You sorry sons of a bitches that think that you're just going to go and arrest a bunch of protesters because they're out there doing something you're too afraid to fucking do. They're out there fighting for our freedom, and they're out there fighting for our right for free speech because you, all 2,000 of you fucking National Guardsmen, you brave ass fucking soldiers, you think you're gonna march in those streets and tell those people to shut the fuck up? That is what you decided to fight for. You chose to defend us against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and you fucking failed. And that's why they're out there on those streets. So who the fuck are you to tell them to shut the fuck up?
I can't take any more of that. That's still got 10 seconds left, and I'm done. I can't. What's with the anger with people? I don't understand. Like there's a serious, like Shia said, there's a serious mental health crisis in this country. Maybe they do need red wine. I don't know. They got to do something.
She
Maybe
needs a glass of wine.
Marijuana.
And, put her feet up.
I agree.
I think they actually probably do take a lot of marijuana, but I don't know about wine. I think it's a little too advanced for them, the wine. It's a little too, maybe it's a little too expensive because they're living in their parents' basement. I don't think they have any money for that.
Yeah.
Well, they would be saving on rent.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm getting by on Diet Coke and coffee. I don't know if you guys ever pay attention to all the things that I'm drinking like throughout an episode. Have you guys seen those funny Zoom calls where people drink from anything but a cup with their CEO? Have you seen that?
No.
Like you'll have a Zoom call with like 9 people on it or whatever, and like everybody agrees ahead of time, like when they have like their big CEO or their big boss on or whatever, like everybody's going to randomly just start taking sips from things that aren't cups, you know, like so they'll have like huge bowls, they'll have like, I don't know, like it's really funny. Like, I don't know. It's a funny thing. We should do that one time. We should have done that. We should have done that to Lydia today.
You should have.
All right. So I've got 2 30-second questions. I'm going to ask Lydia one. You have 30 seconds to answer this question. It's not crazy, but you have 30 seconds to answer it. Then I'm going to ask Robin one, which she's kind of already answered for me today, but we'll see when we get there. All right. So Lydia, this is a serious question. Actually, let me preface it with a statement from Tim Walz today. I think it came out today. His statement that asking if what's happening in Minnesota is a Fort Sumter situation. And he actually asked that question, I think rhetorically, didn't actually answer it. But do you think, okay, so you have 30 seconds to answer this. Do you think that it is time for a national divorce at this point in time? Do you think that's the best thing? And if so, what state are you moving to? If not, how the heck do we solve this?
Oh, gosh. Wow. That's a very profound question. Yeah, Tim Walz loves the Civil War analogies. He's leaned on those for several weeks now. It's Gettysburg, it's this, it's like, oh, at least he knows his history. Look, I mean, I think if anything, we can look back at the Civil War and realize like that was a time where brother was killing brother, and we had this much bigger issue of slavery. And I think we've weathered so much. I don't want to be the first to say that we just need to have a national divorce, but I do think like fundamentally people see the world so differently now. And I actually think for the most part, back in the Civil War, or any other period of American history, there was sort of a shared worldview and a shared vision. And I don't think that we have that anymore. I think that people
so yes or no, is it time for national divorce? I don't want to support a civil war. Is it time for national?
Because then I'd have to move.
What state are you moving to? You didn't answer that. What state are you moving to?
Probably Texas.
Texas.
My brother lives in Texas, so
Utah's not bad.
Texas is one of the most liberal places. It's 100% like red in how it votes. But when you go into any of the actual cities in Austin and Dallas and Houston and all that stuff, I mean, it's crazy. It's just like California. And, you know, there are places, obviously, the majority of the land mass of Texas isn't liberal. But it's not, I mean, I feel like Florida is like the safe place to go. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased a little bit. Although here I am in a jacket and it's 59 degrees outside.
Wimp.
How do you?
I don't know how we'll do in the Civil War, you know?
Not well.
Just so Robin,
Valley Forge. not have done well there.
I would not have done well at Valley Forge. Robin, this is the question I have for you before today, so it's very relevant now.
Okay.
Would you go on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon if it meant all government fraud and waste was eradicated?
Yes, absolutely yes. 100% yes. I am very excited that we're going back to the moon. I think this is phenomenal. I don't know why it's been a long time. It's so good for national morale. My kids are so stoked about it. They've been talking about it round the clock. It's just such a cool thing. And yeah, I would go to space for sure. I trust going to space more than I trust going to the bottom of the ocean.
Would you do it in a submarine?
Well, I suppose a spaceship
is
basically
in a submarine.
Yeah, it was the same amount of more pressure, but
submarines are actually more dangerous, I think, when you get to certain depths.
Right.
It's a lot harder to seal a submarine.
I would go as a very dumb person, like as someone like you hook me up to all the stuff. Don't expect me to know anything. Please don't ask me to save the mission. If we get into, just give me the, jettison me out. If there's a reason, I don't want to be mission critical. I don't want to be like an important part of a space mission. But if they want to like duct tape me to a wall and let me go up and down, I would 100% do that. I would so do that. I'd be into that. I just don't want to be important. I want to be Katy Perry in the spaceship in Artemis. There's my answer.
All right, so I'm going to read a couple of B headlines from our forum, and then we'll transition to Mr. B and wrap things up. All right.
Can't say transition.
I always say transition at this point in time. All right, so these are published headlines. These are from our forum. So I don't know if you know this or not, Lydia, but maybe some of your family who's fans of the Babylon Bee wants to join and become a member of our forum. We actually allow people who join and subscribe to submit headlines that they think are fun.
That's how I got hired. I just started pitching headlines on the forum and they brought me onto the team because they needed diversity or something. Oh, am I a diversity hire? Oh, shoot. Might be. Crap.
That's really what I thought when I saw you.
Thank you. Yeah. Blonde.
The community votes on these, and as they kind of raise through the ranks, our editors see them, and then some of them actually end up getting published, some of them getting featured on the homepage. So this one actually got published. So this is from 2 Degrees Off. Don Lemon plans to appeal not being sentenced to all-male prison. So we ended up publishing that under Frustrated Don Lemon wonders what a guy has to do to get sent to men's prison.
That's terrible.
That was our only published one this week. So let's read a featured one.
From Colonel.
Mom calls on Tom Homan to deal with Aiden.
Oh man,
I
like Tom Homan. I'm a big fan. Another Kurgle.
Weatherman warns there hasn't been a snow like this since last winter. Well, that's true. They are talking about this being the storm of the century and all this other stuff, but I was up in North Carolina last February, and we had the ice storm that was insane. We were walking around outside, and just branches just falling off the trees and everything like that. This does seem to happen once a year, it seems like. And then they say it's like the worst storm in history.
I have a picture of Dan with a mixing bowl on his head to protect from the ice. Can I post that? Do I have permission?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had some nice little pictures taken up there. I was doing photos for a music project I was doing, and it was fun. Minnesota men wearing literal full armor of God to Sunday services now.
Oh man, they almost look like Monty Python though in the picture.
Yeah. She went and did the Photoshop and everything like that. That was great.
That's impressive.
All right, Mr. B, take it away. Give us some questions to wrap things up.
Okay, Lydia, if you had to ban one media buzzword forever, what's gone?
Buzzword?
Nazi.
Ooh. There we go.
Hey, I can tell you what mine is. Have you guys
All
seen
right.
the clip, the Candace Owens architecture clip?
No.
That's
Do you know
not
what
her
I'm talking
ice.
about?
I'm talking about ice.
I'm not going to play it because she'll probably try and sue us or something like that. But just look up how Candace Owens pronounced architecture. It's very interesting.
Architecture.
Nice, Robin. What's yours?
Well, I don't know if this is a media buzzword, but I'd like to obliterate the term "live your truth" from all of everything, from Instagram. From
Live your truth, but if you don't like who you are, then you should castrate yourself.
Sure. Yeah, I hate it so much.
Mine, I guess, is neighbors, because it was illegal immigrants to neighbors. I can't stand that.
Undocumented friends.
Yeah, undocumented.
Undocumented friends. Mostly peaceful is good.
Lydia, what are you surprisingly bad at that people will be surprised to hear?
She's not bad at anything.
I'm bad at a lot of things, but I don't think people would be surprised. I'm learning tennis. I didn't really do a lot of sports growing up. Never learned how to ski, never learned how to do anything posh like that. So I'm trying now to beef up my athletic bona fides.
That's nice.
Great. Dan's a pretty good tennis player. And he teaches, right, Dan?
I actually did. When I was in college, I taught tennis.
Golf. You must be really
Now
good.
I want to teach golf.
Yeah,
All
one of my really close friends, obviously Dan is a very close friend of mine actually, but is a tennis pro for 30 years, and I got him and Dan together, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a bloodbath for Dan, and Dan took him, and I was like, wow, that was pretty impressive. I was like, this guy is
That's
the real deal.
Andrew Agassi, I'm going to say.
Around Florida, they call me the real deal. I don't know.
I don't want to say. Mine is chopsticks. I'm going to just say I am better at them now, but
on piano or the food?
No, the food. I'm actually semi-proficient with them now, but for many years we would go to restaurants, and I'm too proud to ask for a fork at a sushi restaurant, so I'd have to stab the sushi with the chopstick and try to shovel it in my mouth because some part of my brain just can't. I'm better now. I can pick it up and get it in my mouth. But for up until I was probably 35, my husband would just die laughing every time because he's like, just get a fork. I'm like, no, I'm going to make this work this time. And so I would like a puppy trying to use a oven mitt or something, just like,
So Mormons don't really use chopsticks?
I don't think it's a Mormon thing.
I know.
It's a my brain thing. I don't know what it is.
Lydia, I saw you on Jesse Waters last night. That was great. I love seeing you on there. How is Jesse off camera? To me, he seems fun and lighthearted.
He's the best.
Yes?
No, he's so good at what he does, and he always makes it really fun. I mean, all of the hosts are great, but there's some people where you come up and you're like, I need to do a good job. I need to have my talking points, and you're kind of stressed, and the camera's roll. But with Jesse, he's you're just chit-chatting. It's like you're not even doing TV. Because he just makes it so comfortable. And I've noticed, so this is what he does. He never wants to talk about what you're going to discuss before the cameras roll. He wants to save it all for the moment.
You try that, but I talk too much.
He's just a fun, chill guy. And it comes across on camera.
Nice.
That was in New York. I need to watch the clip. Were you in the studio?
Yeah. Although I guess it kind of went viral on Twitter because there are some lighthearted subjects that we addressed, and somebody was posting really, this is what Fox News is covering right now.
Really?
Okay, it was 3 seconds. We're talking about Sydney Sweeney. Give us a break.
She's big. She's current.
She's big.
One way of putting it.
That is
She's
one.
very current right now.
That's an adjective that you can use to describe Sydney Sweeney if you
wrong.
choose to. All right. Anything else, Mr. B?
Yeah, last one for the group, and we'll start with you, Dan, and we'll end with Lydia. What was your first job?
Oh, well, actually, my first job is boring. I helped a lawyer do paralegal stuff, but my first real job that I actually got a paycheck was McDonald's.
Nice.
I was 14, and in Florida, you're allowed to work at 14 at fast food restaurants. So I worked there. I did a horrible job. I have to admit that I stole a couple Monopoly pieces from the Monopoly thing.
Did you win?
And I went on vacation. I never even quit. I probably am still on the payroll. I never quit. I just went on vacation and never came back. So I might be able to walk in there and still work there like Trump. Me and Trump. That's what we have in common.
Okay, Robin.
Mine, and I put this on my Twitter account that nobody follows. So, but mine was because my son just started at Chick-fil-A this week. He started his first job, and he's a Chick-fil-A guy, and he's loving it, and I'm so thrilled. But I worked at an indie video rental store in like 1998. It was called Top Hat Video in Bountiful, Utah. Nice. They closed last year. Was like the longest indie video rental store. And have you ever seen the movie Empire Records with Renee Zellweger? It was just like that, but a video rental store. It was so cool in the 90s. I got free video rentals. I could waive late fees. So I was kind of like, I had like godlike powers because in the 90s, late fees were such a big deal. And it was so much fun. But it was a hard job because they would keep me till like 1 a.m. on school nights. And so I ended up only staying there for about a year, but it was a vibe. It was super fun.
Good times. Okay, Lydia, I'm going to guess your first job was at Radio Shack.
That would have been a cool job. I would have gotten a discount. I could have gotten the only job I had until college was babysitting, which was kind of, depending on which family, it was pretty fun. Like the best families were like the parents wanted to go on a date night and you just go over there and like eat all of their food and watch TV. We didn't have cable, so like I'd go watch their cable and then they'd come back and be like, okay, get my cash. That was the best job. I even did that as a young adult in New York, and babysitting for New York families was so fun because they would just give you their Seamless account. They're like, order anything you want.
That's amazing.
Great.
Lydia, do you have any kids?
Not yet. I have a dog.
Okay, I was going to say, is there any connection to babysitting and not having kids?
Baby. Well, now I have a nephew, so yeah.
It'll turn you sometime.
Maybe next time I'm on. I don't know. Depends when you invite me.
I babysat a lot in junior high and high school, and there was a time I thought maybe I don't want kids. Maybe this is awful. But
that didn't happen.
No, I have 5, and I love being a mom. But babysitting was super fun.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us this week. We really appreciate it. Go ahead and like this video, comment, subscribe. Tell us what your first job was and if it was a good experience or a bad experience. And we will see you guys next week on Beyond Parody. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for having me.